That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
Welcome all to the Titan Esports Counting Grounds here for Emerald 4. I am your play-by-play caster, Malco, and we are joined here today by Loki. How are you doing?
I'm so fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing well, as you guys can see. It's pretty interesting. This is it's kind of weird to kind of like try to like talk about different things here because there's not really much to know. It's two different teams that we see here, a bunch of no a plethora of players that I haven't exactly gotten the chance to really get to cast. And so I'm hoping that these guys can make some exciting League of Legends, which they're gonna need to. This is the scouting ground. So if
Right?
you're hoping right, if you're hoping to get picked up by a team here, you gotta make this some really exciting League of Legends, be able to show your skill and show what you got, what it takes to be a part of one of these teams. As we did see last season, we had quite a few really surprising seasons for the different leagues here over last season. And now we are getting right into the draft with Team 1 and Team 2 on blue and red side. I'm
I
not sure if
do know that the Mandalorian is actually Sems in Game 1, so I'm super pumped for this, so we can flame him on cast openly.
Okay, so good to know the flaming will be allowed here for the cast. So if
Yeah.
he makes any mistakes, we're gonna be watching him the entire time. So as we're going into the ban phase here, we do see that blue side is going to be banning out the Syndra and Aurelion Sol so far, as red side has banned out the Ashe and looks like as well Zinzao. Ashe, I've noticed, has been a AD carry that a lot of people have been going towards, and it's kind of disgusting currently in the meta at this moment.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Whether it's just the utility or just the damage that she can bring out and the pressure that she allows for in lane. And we're going to see the Karma being the final ban here for blue side. And then Team 2 is going to end up banning out the Scion, a pretty dependable tank if you're looking to play that weak side top lane.
It is actually a ban towards the mid laner, Pandora. He's a Scion, like, OTP.
Wait, oh, well, then look at
Scion
that.
mid.
So yeah, I'm glad that these teams are actually scouting out as much as they possibly can. And that definitely is going to be a big hit, because you don't want to, when you have someone who's like a one-trick pony on one of those like off, like weird kind of picks, like again the Scion mid is something that you don't see, or like next thing you know is going to be like back in I forgot which worlds it was, but they had brought out the Nautilus mid, and it's just like
Yes,
where's this coming
from?
and it's like, wait, where's this coming from, right? So
Where's it going?
Right, and now we actually do see if no one knows where it's gonna go, so we're just gonna have to see how the teams playing out. And I do like the fact that a lot of these teams, and a lot of teams in general, speaking of Nautilus, likes to really flex things around. And so we're gonna see Team 1 end up picking up the Wukong and the Nautilus here, and Team 2 right now picking up the Diana and the Seraphine.
It's been pretty popular lately, and we do see the Kai'Sa locked in for Team 1, which honestly is my favorite AD carry paired with Nautilus, so.
And that's actually a very pressurable lane. Once all that like Kai'Sa kind of needs is help with is just getting someone to lock it down, so she can get as many of those plasma stacks as possible and dish out a lot of damage. Yes, she's very short range, but Xayah picked on the side of Team 2 is also a pretty short range AD carry. So I feel like whatever's going in the bot lane is definitely going to be it's more of an even matchup. I do know that Seraphine sometimes can be flexed mid depending upon the player, so we can see whether or not they're going to try to make an adjustment, seeing that Nautilus on the other side.
We just see the Garen and Quinn. There's the Quinn ban. I was waiting. Sems is a very well-known Quinn merchant in the top lane, so not surprised to see that taken out.
And honestly, as a top laner, I wouldn't want to be going up against top lane range at all, especially if you're someone who primarily plays melee. It's just not fun for you at all. So we do see the Aurora now being banned. I'm guessing that's a ban towards Aurora mid, and we do see the Hui picked up for the side of for Team 2 side, and that's gonna be that's always been an interesting pick. I love seeing in Titan is when the Hui comes out, because it always seems like it's one of those champions that, like, oh, when someone plays it, like, they really know what they're doing. So this is actually going to be a lot of fun to watch. But I do see the Galio here picked up, and that's always a fun anti-mage pick. But it does show that there is a lot of tank on the side of T1, so they're not going to have a whole lot of AP damage to really go around to kind of make it a little bit of a mix-up of how well Team 2 has to build against them. So you got that kind of one type of damage coming out here. How's it going to work out? And Team 2 says, we see that, and we're going to end up picking the Mordekaiser to go up against this Ornn up in the top lane.
I feel like Ornn's a very safe top lane pick lately.
I feel like in general it's always been like something, because even if Ornn himself falls behind, as long as he's gaining his levels, eventually able to get those Ornn items, you are able to feel some of that extra value that he does give to a team. So you don't necessarily need the Ornn to be the strongest, you just need him to be the most stable. If he can just kind of keep himself in a good state for the lane, more than likely we will end up seeing this Ornn actually being a lot more useful than people believe. And with nothing to really block the Ornn horn coming down, there's actually a pretty decent combination between the entire side of Team 1 that could actually lead them to victory, especially with how tanky their team is. They're going to have a really hard time trying to shred through all those tanks unless Xayah gets really fed here. So I'm very curious to see what's going to end up happening. I do know also, like, I mean, we could see like a weird like Leandri's build from the Mordekaiser, which can help shred a lot of that HP tankiness on the other side of Team 1. So I'm really hoping to see what we're going to get here from both sides.
Yeah, I was a little worried when I saw the Xayah locked in, because like if she does get like a significant lead in the early game, it is going to make it tough for the side of Team 1. But
oh, and Finn here walking into the blue side jungle, always wanting to get that Raptor World, but sacrificing a lot of HP for it. And Vero looking to continue the chase, able to get the lunge, taking down to less than 10% HP, and Finn's going to be forced back here.
a bad start for the side of Team 1.
Definitely, and like for Team 2, it's just gonna kind of, I feel like it's just not gonna be that's just not a very stable start for you. And ever since they've made like the overall starting time significantly lower for the in general the game, it definitely makes like getting those kinds of invades a lot more dangerous, because if a team does pick up on you and they've had a lot more CC there, honestly that could have been potentially the death, at least the flash from the Diana there.
Absolutely. I am interested to see a Diana though. Like, I'm be honest, I haven't really seen a whole lot of Diana in the jungle, but I think maybe I'm just playing the. It's always like Xin Zhao or Jarvan.
Xin Zhao, Jarvan. Oh wait, a little bit of lockdown. John, you're gonna have to flash to try to get away. They're trying to get a little bit more flashes in. Auto tag, and that's the first blood going to the Kai'Sa in the bot lane, and that's not what you want to see from the side of T2.
Not at all.
And here
I feel like any lead on these AD carries is gonna be rough for the other team. You don't want to fed Kai'Sa, you don't want to fed Xayah.
You don't want either one of those, but right now the Kai'Sa kind of wants to be the one to try to really get ahead here, because I feel like Xayah, with like kind of the way she scales a bit more, is like, okay, she just starts to build art, she gets the armor pen, she gets the IE, then she just starts doing damage. Where Kai'Sa, it feels like, because of the way that her item builds are, she has to be trying to get that item advantage so then she can constantly be able to duel. But now we're getting a duel as Sims going in on the top lane, taking Whimsical down to extremely low health on the Mordekaiser here. Not really, but he doesn't feel the force to bag. Mordekaiser does have decent sustain in lane, so he should be able to combat against the Ornn here. Oh, and no no worries. Just want to make sure that we're all good. No technical difficulties. But now the overall state of the map has quieted down. Of course, we got that really early first blood, and that's always fun. That's basically the novelty of Kai'Sa Nautilus. It can very much secure a very easy first blood for you if you're able to get the lockdown. Even though Diana was able to get the crab early, they are making this roam into the jungle, and Vero really wants to put the pressure on the Thin here.
Yeah, this is definitely not what you want, like, on the jungle perspective for Team 2.
Ballistic, gonna be taken down really close health, have to use the barrier, trying to get away from Diana, does so, but this still gets taken down, but returns the kill right back to the enemy jungler. Too close for this Kai'Sa, but now Methi going in, trying to get down the feathers onto the Galio, and it's gonna be Wall Street taking him down here as they continue the chase. Vero looking for that last target, and that's gonna be Mafal going down as they continue to chase him down, forcing the flash out of Wall Street. Flash hook, not gonna be able to miss, gets the snare, but it's only on the clone. Vero walks out, but that's still an overall 2-for-1 win for the side of T1.
This Kai'Sa's got to be feeling good. Even though she went down, that's still 2 kills, though.
and you're still up on the Xayah in general, having the extra
Yeah.
CDR from the Caulfields and the little fairy charm there. They definitely are looking to get that extra bit of damage, and I really do think that the Kai'Sa is going to benefit more here, especially if they can get their quest done first, because now they don't have to worry about that boot slot, which means they can build their kind of mixed damage build a lot more, because she needs all three of the stats. She needs the AP,
Yeah.
she needs the AD, she needs the attack speed. So Kai'Sa, yeah, you're right. She is feeling really good right now. But Thin, not feeling real good, is constantly getting invaded in their jungle by this Wukong. So that's got to be really irritating, where you're constantly being challenged at almost every camp.
You know, for being, you know, invaded quite a bit, they're still up in CS though, and across the jungle camps.
Oh, hold on. I think John was pushed a little too far up, and now Kai'Sa trying to get a lot of damage, but this time it's looking like they're going to be able to drop Ballistic, trying to get away. The Q Feather's not going to be able to make it. Kai'Sa walks out ever so barely, and well as Mr. Geeky. This bot lane is playing extremely aggressive. They caught the Seraphine out, but the sustain from the W shielding able to stop a lot of that damage from being dropped, and Ballistic not having the barrier this time to be able to sustain the fight a bit more.
Right, first drag is up, and it looks like Team 2 is going to take this uncontested as
Oh, wait a
Wukong
second.
is bot
This is... Yep, Vero finds the Xayah all alone. They're going to have to eventually roam down. Instead, Vero going to be able to take that kill with the assist of the Nautilus. They trade the Dragon for the life of the AD carry, and I think that might be a pretty well trade.
100% worth it for the side of Team 1. I'd rather take the AD carry's life than, you know, first drag, so...
I mean, especially when first drag doesn't necessarily mean too much unless you're looking for the drag stacking. But now, here it is, taking it to the Delk realm, calling in the call of the Forge God. Gonna try to get the knockup. Flashes over the knockup, trying to fight Sims. And is it gonna be the win of the 1v1? Whimsical takes it on the Mordekaiser.
Sims is running it down for his team, man. This is tragic.
It's only his first death. Come on, we gotta wait a little bit. He is on the Ornn. He's supposed to be that weak side king. This is exactly in T1's plan. And you know, for all they know, they're gonna go up there and try to get a little bit of shutdowns. But this time, McGeeky, this coming back up to the mid lane, gonna be able to get the Justice Punch taunt, able to land, but it's not enough damage from the side of T1 to be able to kill off Wall Street with that support mid combo.
Team 1 still looking, you know, just a slightly behind in this gold lead, which I'm actually surprised about. This feels like it's been very, very busy in the fight department, but...
I feel like, and I think it's actually a lot of T1 initiating a lot of these fights. As you did mention, we do see that Vero is constantly invading the jungle to Diana, but the Diana is still able to stay ahead in the CS department. So with the jungle creeps, I've been taught many times throughout the last season. The creep score number means so much more this season.
Absolutely,
because
yes.
It really does show how much of the lead is being subjected to that one side. And T2, even though they're up 400 gold, you see consistent farm leads from different opponents. But Wall Street getting caught under the Cyclone, now trying to run away. Second charge of the Cyclone, gonna be able to get him, and it's looking like Vero gonna be able to take his life. And yes, he does. The Wukong now on a killing spree, maybe down in camps, but definitely having some agency on this map.
A 3-0 Wukong's not really something you want to see at the 8-minute mark. But I feel like Diana's gonna get... I'm not really sure what her damage is as of recent, but I know that once she gets that Dusk and Dawn, maybe it might be a little bit easier for her.
Yep, but we're gonna see right here, she's looking to get ganged up, knocked up by the Wukong, and here comes the Galio. Not gonna be able to get it. Then though, trying to get away, can't do so. Tries to flash and getting taunted up. Pandorum gonna be able to take that kill. Now we do have the Wukong in the death realm, trying to avoid every bit of an attack, trying to stall for as long as he can. He does get his life taken, but will that also be Whimsical getting his taken as well? As they're gonna try to walk away. Pandorum being given the kill. Flashes, taunts, and gets him with the Justice Punch. Nicely done by the side of T1 to be able to get a couple of those extra kills and stop the grubs from being taken.
Nice job, Pandorum. That's really nice ult in there.
Oh.
This way is... I have a feeling this way is going to be terrifying late game, though.
Yeah, and they definitely gotta be careful here. The farm difference can only last so long when these kills just keep consistently coming through. in T1, I really do like that they consistently keep forcing these fights. They can't get objectives at this current moment, so they're just constantly going towards those objectives and trying to catch these might be potentially low health targets or even an alone target like this Diana. So this is actually going to be great as Thin getting ganged up on by Galio and Nautilus in between. Killer Instinct going to come in looking in for the Diana. One more plasma stack, an auto ballistic demon now getting that third kill for the game. Flash over the wall, not going to hit the undertow on the Wall Street, and that's going to be the end of the fight, but another kill going to this Kai'Sa.
All right, that's 3-1 Kai'Sa, 2-1 Galio, and a 3-1 Wukong. Team 1 is sitting pretty this game.
Yeah, I want to definitely give a little bit more. Oh wait, hold on. Undertow gonna land, get some of these plasma stacks. Exhaust drop down on the ballistic demon. Feather's gonna come down. Barrier drop, trying to get a little bit more. Here comes the ultimate from the Xayah. One more auto. Mafel gonna be able to take that kill. Encore gonna keep him charmed, rooted down. Mr. Geeky gonna try to get away, but no, double kill going to the Xayah. 2 needed kills to be able to bring this bot lane back into this game.
Let's go. That is exactly what Xayah wants to say. This lane.
Oh, whimsical rat though, looking to try to take this scuttle from Vero, not going to be able to do so. And yeah, that's something big for the Xayah here. Even though she's kind of falling behind, wait a second, that's a lot of damage from this Galio. He doesn't have a whole lot to work with, but I don't think he sees him. Wall Street now having to use the abilities, trying to get the little rift walk to get away. Gonna be able to do so. Vero decided not to continue the chase with the potential knowing that someone else could be there. And hey, oh, well, on the top side, immediate fight. The Death Realm not used just yet, but Sims is able to absorb a lot of this pressure from this from the Mordekaiser, as we do end up missing Thin. Gonna be able to take out Vero as the fight continues. Thin almost taken out by Pandorum. Gonna be able to walk away. His mouth going on a killing spree, and they're continuing to chase. Pandorum gonna be the next drop as Wall Street able to secure that kill, and now we're seeing T2 starting to fight back.
I feel like Team 2 kind of has like a later game. Because Xayah does need those items. Diana's gonna need her item power spikes, but both teams playing very well.
I do, and I think that maybe that last fight was just a little bit of a mistake. Whatever the engage was in that last one that led to Thin being able to take the kill onto Vero is something that maybe they probably thought that maybe T1 thought like, oh, we can fight this, but not realizing that now the items are starting to slowly come through. That Dusk and Dawn is now here for the Diana. We are going to start seeing Hui start to build into that Blackfire Torch and start to get some of that extra AP ramp up damage from the burn. We do see Xayah now getting towards their Essence Reaver. Once they hit that Navori, they're going to be able to keep cycling those feathers out through and through, making it a lot harder to either get to her because she's constantly rooting you down, or in general her sheer damage that she can just dish out because her attack speed becomes absolutely absurd with the W active. So this is going to be very, very difficult, as we do see Whimsical Rat is the first to complete his quest, so he has now the enhanced teleport. And that should at least, like, that's the last thing you kind of want to see though, is you see the Mordekaiser starting to get away in levels, especially with this 20 farm difference that he currently has on the Ornn. And yeah, so they're gonna have to definitely make up some of this deficit for the top side elsewhere, and we're unfortunately not getting a whole lot, as most of the farm deficits is in the lead for the side of T2.
All right, what do we got coming up? We got Dragon in about 3.5 minutes. They just took that. Paying attention.
Oh yeah, so yeah, oh wow, so they already got the Drake stacking started. That was just an immediate like kind of, hey guys, just to let you guys know they took this. And so they end up taking the Mountain Drake. We do have an ocean map as it can seem, and honestly the side of T1 really wants this Ocean Soul. They would love that with all those tanks on this team.
Absolutely. They 100% want this.
Then gonna end up looking for Ballistic Demon. Goes in, able to get the ultimate, but the Killer Instinct out. Gonna dodge on the Encore. Now trying to drop a couple more auto attacks. Root up and snare. McGeeky gonna get, Mr. Geeky gonna end up getting dropped. Ballistic Demon now surrounded by 4 different members on the side of T2. They're looking for the kill. And John gonna be able to take it, but not gonna be able to return the kill even with the turret shot. T2 really looking good as they start to bring themselves up about 2.5k.
Yeah, no health, no mana under turret makes her very unhappy, Kai'Sa. So, but this Xayah's feeling pretty good right now.
and unfortunately gets the shutdown. But we're gonna end up seeing what happens. Then gets chased out by Pandorum. Zaya was just caught out, unfortunately, trying to walk back too late and probably greeted a little bit too long for tower plates or something there. But that's gonna be in the shutdown going over to Pandorum. And right now they definitely need that momentum back in their favor.
100% they do. I'd like to see a little bit more from topside, but I kind of know that Orin's just going to kind of be that playmaker late game setup for the engages for this team. But he's kind of getting beat up on by this by Whimsical Rat.
Yeah, he's not having a real fun time here, and I don't think the Galio's gonna have a fun time either. Justice Punch taunt gonna be able to get locked down though. Jonathan continuing the chase, and now knowing that they can't get any more damage, it's just gonna be Galio getting a chance to walk away. And yes, she does have Dusk and Dawn, but it's just not gonna be enough to be able to chew through that MR building Galio there.
Yeah. I didn't know that Dusk and Dawn was first item. For some reason, I thought it was like second for Diana, but
I think a lot of those AP assassins that use a lot of auto tactic echo like Diana, they ended up going. It's like Dust and Dawn became a much more first place item, but hold on, Mr. Geeky gonna find Wall Street, gets the plasma stacks, able to drop a lot of damage, but now it's just gonna be Diana going right on top, and that's gonna be Thin taking the kill from the from the Kaisa, and that's gonna end up being her dropped. And I hate to say it, but maybe Thin's gonna get dropped here too. Vero now looking for the damage as he's able to lock him down. Mr. Geeky gonna keep Wall Street away, but Vero taking so much damage that Galio comes in and is able to make the save as Pandorum is able to take that kill and gets the shutdown for themselves.
I was a little worried at first when I saw Hui pick up that Dark Seal, but 6 stacks on it, and he's playing exceptionally well in this mid lane against what I thought wouldn't be a matchup in his favor.
And honestly, I was expecting that, but it's also the fact that Wall Street has actually made a couple roams, like that 4-man gank down bot side where they tower dove ballistic. It was just like he just happens to be there. He's been consistently around these fights, about a 50% KP right now for this mid laner. So they're definitely making their presence known for their team. And Vero here now looking to try to secure a little objective for themselves, since the Void Grubs now looking at the Rift Herald.
Rift Herald would be nice for this team 1. Would like to see them open up either like mid or top. I think top lane just kind of wants to keep Mordekaiser up there, but
I think it's a really tough choice. Do you want to try to open up the shortest lane in the map? But right now, once again, giving up another Drake here, and they can't really afford to keep giving these up like this. To especially give up an Ocean Soul at this current point would not be good to go up against this constantly healing, shielding team, especially with the Seraphine now having the ability to keep her team constantly topped up on HP. So this is going to be very difficult for them. But they do try to get this mid lane with the Rift Herald, but now it's going to be a drop as the Encore goes wide. Vero going to be the first one to lose his life, and that's going to be the Kaisa drop down as well. Double kill going over to Mafal as they are continuing the chase down, and it's just looking like the map is starting to light on fire on the side of T1.
Very much so. And they weren't even able to get that tier 1 and mid down yet.
And instead we end up seeing the tower just dropping for the mid tier 1 instead for the side of T2. And so now T1, just Mr. Geeky here trying to do something to defend this mid lane tower. As we do see though, bot lane has been secured by the Galio, so at least they get a little bit of that gold back into their hands. But this super tanky dependent team is this is kind of what I was worried about. Eventually, like once Kai'Sa's gone, what do you have for your team in damage? There's not really as much coming out from the Wukong as you want, especially even with just the Trinity Force. But I don't know what else they can really do for this, as we do see Wall Street did end up getting the kill on the Pandorum down there, and they're still continuing the fight. They're gonna go Mr. Geeky being able to get the undertow onto Thin, but now just securing the double kill over for Wall Street, and it's just T2 now absolutely running away with this game. 6,000, just about 6,000 gold up. And it's going to be really hard to come back against this unless they get some seriously good picks on the side of T1.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. Like now that you mentioned like the damage aspect on the side of like Team 1, without like Kaisa and Wukong being significantly ahead, they don't really have an answer for this Hui in the mid lane, and the fact that Zaya's getting fed.
And that's what I was initially worried about, was where's the damage gonna come from once Kai'Sa's gone. And there is really no damage for them. And we were like, oh, in the beginning of the game, yes, this is exactly what we wanted to see. Get the first blood on the Kai'Sa and start letting the Kai'Sa ramp up by putting the constant pressure on this Xayah Seraphine, but it's just not enough. And we do see that Whimsical Rat is gonna end up taking the 1v1, and he uses the Death Realm. Gonna take Sims into it and just hitting him with the bonks over the head with the big old mace, trying to keep going, but Sims just being forced to hit the wave instead of hitting the champions because he can't win the fight. Whimsical Rat gonna take the solo up on the top side.
Let's go. Yeah, Team 2 is getting scarier and scarier as this game progresses. I'm worried about Team 1's the outcome for this first game. They're gonna have to fight for this dragon in about 2.5 minutes. They can't let Team 2 just collect soul for nothing.
And I hate to say it, but it's gonna be even more difficult for them. Like, the control of the map that Team 2 has, they can't even walk into a choke point or into any brush without wondering if the Diana like this is just gonna jump up onto the box of a ballistic, gonna use the ult, able to draw them back in and take on top of them. Mr. Geeky gonna be able to use the ult to help them get away. Here comes the and here comes the Galio over the top, trying to be able to stop them. It does stop the fight, but that's so many resources. 4 different ultimates used from the side of T1, and that's going to be very difficult for them to fight, as right now these are mostly level 1 ultimates. It's majority of them probably won't even be up by the time that it's ready to fight for this Ocean Soul.
Yes, Ocean Soul up in about 1.5 minutes. These guys need to start setting up for this.
I don't think T1 even has the agency to be able to do so. Like, they might be able to walk up, but this is the thing I don't like, is that, again, we got too many tanks on the top side of the map with the Galio and the Ornn, and then you have the fake tank, I like to say, for Nautilus, where he goes in, he gets his, well, he's not even using Aftershock, so he's even less tankier than you would expect the Nautilus to be. And instead, he's using he ran Bamble Pipes with Glacial Augment. So it's it seems very difficult for this Nautilus to be able to stick around in the fights, because they're not as tanky, and the shielding is like the shield that they get from the W isn't exactly helping as much either. So, oh man, this with them, like, at that point, it's just like, hey, how long can you lock them? You need to really be able to lock them down with these tanks. But even that's not lasting long enough, because you're getting the tenacity being built from the side, like Diana. Actually, I'm surprised to see that the Mordekaiser went Sork Shoes, but the Bloodletter's Curse shredding a lot of the MR that they're even attempting to build against T2. It's just not going to be enough for them. And it's right now, as we can see, Sims is not able to keep up with this Mordekaiser at all anymore. It's at this point is being bullied up in the top side by him, but now being forced to TP as the TP comes in from the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser just in the middle of the rest of the team, using the Death Realm to go ahead and isolate the Kai'Sa Ballistic. Going to be able to do as the Ornhorn gets called down. Going to be able to knock up one member, Whimsical Rat. Going to be able to take out Ballistic as he continues to fight on the back side. Mr. Kiki having to flash away as Befell. Going to be able to take out Vero. Now they continue to chase down Sims as he's going to be trying to lock away. Going to be pulled back in by the rest of the team, and that's going to be the continue to the chase. Flashes over the wall as they're looking to find Mr. Kiki. Whimsical Rat looking for his next target. He does find Sims right in front of him, trying to pull in the rest of the members, and it's going to be Mr. Kiki trying to keep them away. Not going to be able to get the root down from the Seraphine. John trying to help out the Whimsical Rat, his top laner, but now going to be pulled in with the Undertow, taking down the tower damage. Sims nearly taken out, pulled in, one more mace hit. Whimsical Rat going to be able to take that kill, and they're going to be able to chase down Sims as the Ocean Soul goes to the side of T2. They are in absolute control.
Definitely not something that I wanted to see for Team 1 right now. You know, we just kind of gifted that Ocean right over to Team 2, but I mean, they're doing the best that they can here, I guess.
They're really trying to fight this uphill battle. They wanted that setup so bad, and I could understand it. And especially, like, they kept them away from the fight. They knew, like, Diana was probably saying the calls, like, Thin was like, you know what, I can do this Drake on my own. I can take the soul on my own. You guys just keep them as far away from the pit as possible, and keeping Vero away so they couldn't clone over the wall to potentially steal that Ocean Drake, as well as not allowing any of those tanks to get in there to kind of try to, like, kind of just wet noodle fight it. Oh wait, hold on though. No. John getting caught out, CC'd up, but that's gonna be Ballistic coming in, able to take the Seraphine down and get the shutdown using the Killer Instinct. Feathers called down. Cyclone gonna go out. Wow, Mafel trying to walk away. Vero gonna be able to get taken down by Thin, but the shutdown once again going over to the Kaisa. Gets their next evolution, trying to walk away. Flash, Death Well. Now you're in Brazil with the Mordekaiser. Gonna head and try to take this fight, trying to kite it out, running away, trying to get away as long as she can, but she can't. Then though ends up taking that kill from the Mordekaiser. Jungle says thank you for that kill and thank you for the Baron.
I do want to just point out that Hue has a 10-stack Dark Seal right now. I'm really hoping they upgrade this to the Magi because it's like my favorite thing. Once you hit like 9 or 10 stacks on that Dark Seal, it's either cursed. You either like dominate with it or you're just gonna int the stacks away. So
we want to see this play just get to that point of like the point of no return for the enemy team. Ornhorn called down, gonna knock up a couple of the members. That's gonna be the red team securing the Baron. Encore coming over the wall as they're able to take it, but now they take a tower elsewhere. Galio comes down over the top, trying to get anybody that they can with the knockup. Not gonna be able to do so. Two fights split off. Is Whimsical Rat gonna be taken down potentially off on the top side alone, and they're gonna look for that target. They're gonna take it. Pandorum gonna secure that big shutdown for them, and that's a lot of gold getting back over to the side of T1. But is that gonna be enough?
1,000 gold shutdown over to a Galio is definitely something that is working in favor for Team 1. At least, like, he'll put it to good use, you know what I mean?
Right.
Could have got on the Nautilus or something.
He's definitely doing whatever it takes to make sure that he can sustain in these fights. I do like seeing that he has the Riftmaker here. He's building a lot more of this this MR focus though, and I would like to see some armor start to come out a little bit for this Galio if he's going to be tanking, especially when you consider that there's actually not really any armor built on these tankier members, at least not that much, or any of them. And I believe it's looking like the Locket is the next item for the Nautilus, which is going to be great for helping the Kaisa sustain in lane and give basically that extra little bit of a AoE barrier to the rest of the team. Is that like it's just like how is that going to be able to go against the damage of this Zaya, who's not even built the armor pen yet? So I'm just like, oh no, like once she gets that Lord's Dominic's, like is any of this gonna even be for naught at this point? And with they're also so far back, 7,000 gold at 25 minutes is really a surmountable hill to have to climb.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that we mentioned like earlier in the beginning of the game was what do we do when the Zaya gets online, and like what happens if she gets any insurmountable lead. And we're kind of seeing like Team 2 just kind of take over this this map in mid lane.
And it's like there's not really much else you can send anywhere to. Like you do see consistently like they're constantly trying to shift somebody to different waves. Sims is trying to push off a side lane. They're constantly having Wall Street meet him there, and it's like the Hue is actually powerful enough to be able to meet them as he's looking to build the Rabadons now. Pandorum looking to get the Gust of Wind to be able to land onto someone here, but not going to be able to do so as these Baron empowered minions are just chunking down this spot tier 2 tower, and the rest of the minion wave now being escorted. That's so many Baroned up minions. You have to answer this with 4 members now barreling down as Wall Street is trying to push that top lane. They're trying to split the teams up. No, not going to have anything used here, but the Encore comes out able to land on the 4 different members. Gets the knock up on the Whimsical Rat, but that's the only member they managed to land it on. Ballistic Demon going to be able to take that kill as they continue to chase. Cyclone going to be able to get 3 different members popped in the box set as Mafel going to be able to take out Vero, but now it's going to be on Ballistic Demon to try to take the kill. It's not going to be enough as he's able to not get it. Double kill going over to the Zaya. Thing's going to be able to take out Ballistic Demon, and that's going to be the triple kill going to the Zaya as Pandorum drops. Wall Street constantly pushing in. Baron buff now down, but that is 4 members on the side of T1 drop for only the Mordekaiser, and this game is potentially looking like T2's.
Yeah. It is looking a little rough for the side of T1 here, with Ornn being the solo member alive. They're going to crash right into the base of Team 1 right now.
Yeah, and Wall Street now going to get a chunk of damage down onto Sims. He was looking to land it, but that's going to be Mafel taking that down, and that's going to be the ace and the end of the game right there for T2's victory.
Nicely done, guys. I hope you all get picked up for amazing teams this upcoming season, except for Sims. Sims needs to not be on a team this season. Sorry, boss.
He's got too many duties. He can't be playing. I really did like watching these two teams play. It definitely gave me
Mm.
I will say T1 gave me a false sense of security because they were playing the early game extremely well, and then all of a sudden it hit 10 minutes, and T2 was just like, hey, we're taking over completely. I honestly didn't expect the game to go in that particular result.
Yeah.
I was really hoping to see that like that early aggression from T1 was gonna lead them to victory, but good on the mental of T2 to be like, hey, these early game mistakes, we're not too worried about them. We're gonna be able to make do with everything that we have going on, and then at the end of it all, they ended up winning the game off the back of the Mordekaiser really keeping Sims down in levels, so they couldn't get those orange items online as fast, and then also the fact that they weren't really able to build consistently against the Zaya, who could then just shred through all these tanks because they have no armor for her to work through. Hence why she didn't have to go third item armor pen, which was great for her, and she could just keep dishing out this damage at the least of it.
Yeah.
And as we can see, Zaya and Mordekaiser being the two top damage dealers in the whole game.
Nice.
Which kind of makes sense in a way, even though they weren't dealing a whole lot, was still actually kind of just consistently around, and it was at least a very good factor for the team overall when it came to having a sustainable mid lane that was going to be easy for them to just kind of scale into and then eventually take over that game. So really good job for the side of Team 2. You guys definitely deserve to I hope that there was coaches watching, people watching, making sure that
Absolutely.
these two teams seeing who from these two teams you definitely could look at, because I won't speak bad on Team 1 because there was definitely some shining moments for Team 1 where it was like, okay, they definitely show promise, but unfortunately Team 2 just managed to capitalize on a lot of the mistakes that they were making. And with that said, I believe that we will be getting ready for game 2, guys. So please do not go anywhere. You guys will be seeing us very, very soon for game 2 of the Titan Esports Scouting Grounds Emerald 4. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate applying my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding niggas out of line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably dollar sign. Got the energy to win it, my nigga, I'm feeling great. Got a date with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a fuck what you rapping, you been a fake. I'm everything that they ain't, it can't be, it won't be. Wanna see me fall, I can't go, I won't leave. Coming from the block with plain clothes and police. Straight up to the top with bankrolls and rollies. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, 12 can't really stop shit, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot shit. In a yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell. Hitting bitches with the oh well. Need 100 million on the low scale. On my worst night, I'm the best nigga. Wouldn't mess with you, couldn't cap to him. Homie spotted me like 700, brought 1100 right back to him. If I can't do it, then it ain't real. I just make dollars, I don't make deals. I've been going hard in the paint, still blowing cushion clouds till I can't feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
And welcome back once again to Titan Esports Scouting Grounds. As you guys have seen, T1 had unfortunately taken a pretty interesting loss in that last game here. And this is actually what's going to be fun, is that we get to follow T1 throughout their journey through the whole night. So Titan Esports, please give T1 as much energy as you guys can. They are going to need it to be able to bounce back in these next two games. And game one was definitely an interesting one. And now we're getting here into the game two draft and bans. As we do see, T3 ends up banning the Fury and Sion, and T1 so far banning out the Shen and Mbessa.
Yes, we do have, I believe Team 3 has Shinobi on it, who is a Shen Shen jungle one trick, so I'm not surprised to see that Shen ban come through.
Should have sitting there writing the name Shinobi. I like the pun, so you know what, right there, I'm already voting for that jungler to try to win just off the pun alone. So it's just one of those funny things I like to do, as we get the Caitlyn and Corki, two bot laners that are going to be banned out here in the phase one of bans. And actually the blind Jinx right here from T3. That you are really putting a lot of faith into Nacho here in the bot lane if you're gonna just immediately pick a Jinx blind like that. And there's still the Ashe Seraphine combination that is actually open here, so I wouldn't be surprised if Ballistic and Mr. Geeky want to try to go this particular route in T1, as they did just get beat by the Seraphine in their last game.
They choose the Xin Zhao though, so we are gonna hide that potential ADC pick, even though, you know, we showed on the blue side first pick.
I do, you know what, and I do like the Xin Zhao being picked up immediately here. It is one of those champions that does make the Seraphine work very well with her Encore. So it kind of like, I like T1's idea here. It's like, hey, let's pick the things that can go around the Seraphine first before we just decide to drop the Ashe, and let's see what we can get from these next two picks on the side of T3, which this is something the Ashe doesn't want to see, is an Akali Volibear coming at her. So potentially the Ashe might be getting left out here in recognition for something else. And actually I was wrong. So the Ashe does get slammed here for the side of T1. They really want that strong bot lane combination once again, as we did see they picked the Kai'Sa Nautilus last game and they were able to secure themselves the first blood. But now we're going to see them try to really press that pressure on with the Ashe Seraphine down in that bot lane with a combination of Xin Zhao jungle. I really do like seeing this so far, especially into something like Jinx, which takes so long to ramp up.
Right, we do see that Blitzcrank Gwen ban come through. Honestly, Blitzcrank is such a safe ban. That champion scares the life out of me. I'm like attracted to its hook. So
no, I promise you, Riot put something in the code where the hook just magically magnets to anything. Like, I hate it so much. And that's why, against the Seraphine Ashe, the last thing you want to be doing is getting pulled, chompers, knocked up, and then you're just stuck there forever, and then you're just dead. So I think the Blitzcrank ban actually was a very, very good justifiable ban. And we do get from T1 something I was not expecting here, a Vel'Koz in the mid lane. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch as the Morgana comes through, and that's going to be very important. These black shields trying to protect the Jinx, trying to protect any carry that's got that Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming at them, that has the Encores coming at them. It's just a lot that they're going to, there's going to be a lot on this Morgana to be sure that they're using the black shield on the right target. And the final pick over for the side of T3 is going to be the Gnar, which is going to be facing the Malphite up in the top side. I feel that Malphite has been a pretty consistent pick into Gnar. Just overall, just build a lot of armor. He can't really knock you down, but the early game is probably going to be torturous. Another one of these range top lane matchups that you don't want to see if you're going to be going. So Sims has a lot of work to do up in that top side. So we're gonna end up seeing here. So as a call out here for this, Mandalorian, sorry. It's gonna be Mandalorian. Gotta get those names right there. So for the side of T3, we have in the top side is gonna be the Narva on the Gnar, Shinobi in the jungle on the Volibear, Cyclone in the mid lane on the Kali, Nacho in the bot lane with Jinx, Fox King support on the Morgana, and then for the side of T1, Seraphine, Mr. Geeky, Ballistic Demon on the Ashe, Pandorum on the mid lane, Vel'Koz, Vero on the Xin Zhao, and Mandalorian on the Malphite up in the top lane. Let's see what these two teams are going to be able to do as we get onto the Rift.
I have questions about this Vel'Koz pick, though. Like, I'm going to be real. I haven't seen a Vel'Koz pick very often. Is it really that good into a into a Kali?
I think for the early game, it would be a pretty interesting pick. It's just one of those, like, people tend to pick range into melee just to try to give
Mhm.
themselves a somewhat of an advantage. I think it's gonna
Right.
come down to how well they do, how well they stack everything up in these team fights. That's a lot of damage to be coming out when
Right.
the Malphite comes straight at you, and he is going Arcane Comet, so there's gonna be a little bit more damage than normal coming from this Malphite, especially with the pokes with the cheese wheel. So they have that to worry about. Ash, once you have a lot of lockdown in CC for a Vel'Koz, even just dropping the ultimate doesn't even need to get the full stacks from from his own plasma stacks. Oh, then we
Oh
get a slight
no.
pause. But with Vel'Koz, it's like if he could get the 3 stacks onto you and he can get that innate true damage that he gets, it hurts a lot. So I
Oh yeah.
think like yeah, like right
Sure.
there, if he landed on the Cyclone, that would have been already all right. Let me push back, try to come back, but he's just gonna keep. So once he hits level 3, it's really where it's gonna be like, all right, how much of these combinations can he make? How much punishing can he do to the Akali in the mid lane? And I think that's really what they're looking for, is for him to try to keep the Akali off the wave as much as possible, not let them be able to farm, and hopefully come up with a lead from this mid lane where Akali roaming doesn't necessarily scare Ballistic or Mr. Geeky on that bot side, and Meng Lauren can be very safe up in the top side.
Wait, this is Karis on Jinx? Aren't they a top laner?
Um,
I'm so
uh,
confused.
I'm confused here too, but we're gonna go ahead and see. Icarus looks like they're testing they're flexing their might here as they decide to go towards the bot lane for this game. And hopefully they can show their prowess here on the Jinx, as the Seraphine, or sorry, the Morgana, able to push them off, gonna be able to land the binding onto Ballistic, and now Ballistic being forced back under their tower and to use their pots as well. So that's going to be a lot of damage coming from the bot lane side, as it looks like Fox King is a very aggressive Morgana, constantly pushing Ballistic off the wave and threatening these bindings, which can be so detrimental in this early game if you get caught by even just one.
All right. There's no kills yet at 2 minutes. I feel like we had a very sweaty game last time.
But last time, yeah, no, last game literally it was off, but there was so much CC from the Nautilus and the bot lane. The Seraphine couldn't get away, and really in that last game flashed way too late. Once they got caught and were snared down, they had multiple moments to flash, decided not to, and it ultimately ended up in their death. And that was, that's different than this lane. Even though Seraphine can definitely get a little bit of agency from the Ashe's volleys to be able to get the extra additional snare and then stun, it's not going to be at this point where it's like, okay, I don't think Ballistic and Mr. Geeky are going to play that aggressive on this particular lane duo. Even though this is the lane duo you probably want to be more aggressive on, especially into something that's as squishy as a Jinx Morgana. So,
you definitely do.
So I think right now they're playing a little too safe for my liking, and now it's just going to give it does give Vero the ability to at least take this Scuttle Crab, but there is Shinobi here waiting for the gank. He does see him there, so now gonna go in, gonna be able to get the knock, a flash stun, gonna be able to drop it. Chomper's coming down, Vero gonna be caught up by them, but first blood goes to the Seraphine as the Morgana's gonna drop, and Vero gonna drop, Shinobi gonna also drop as Vero gets to take his life. Icarus trying to get away, gonna be able to do so, getting slowed down by the red buff. It's not gonna be enough as Ballistic able to get that kill, donated over by the jungler. 3 kills before the 4-minute mark, and already it's looking like a good sign for T1. Definitely much better than that first game.
Absolutely, for sure. I think once Seraphine goes back and picks up that tier, I think they're going to be able to play just like a little bit more up on their faces. I've played quite a bit of this Ashe Seraphine bot lane, and I always kind of wait to fight until I get that first back in, but I'm hoping to see them like challenge this Jinx more, because the last thing you want is just to let her farm up, scale up, get to that late game where she is just unstoppable.
And I think Vero being down here when Shinobi was ganking at the right time and deciding to come down, because most other junglers might just kind of leave their laners at that point, but no, Shinobi being there, and then and Vero having that thought to Oh wait, hold on, gonna land the Shuriken, gets the electrocute proc, but also there's 3 stacks from the 3-stack true damage from the side of the Vel'Koz, able to deter Cyclone from doing anything else. So that was actually, that's kind of like what we expect from the Vel'Koz, and the Akali now gonna be forced to back. But this is, yeah, this is something you don't want to see. We do see the tier and the fairy charm and the extra bit of AP getting built for the Seraphine. That first blood, actually, all of the people involved, all being 1-0 and 2 here, is actually great for them. So everyone kind of spread the assists and the kills all evenly. So they all ended up getting a bit of gold that definitely ended up helping. As we do see, it looks like, I believe that's the item for Kraken Slayer, first item for the Ashe. Which I actually have started to see, actually like a little bit more. Flash coming out from the Vel'Koz as the Shinobi on the Volibear almost get the Thunder Call to come down, and it's not going to land onto Pandorum, but now they have to be a little bit more careful, especially now that Akali has hit 6.
Yeah. That is like one of the level spikes for Akali, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really play that champion, but we do have first Drake of the game. It looks like Infernal.
Hey, Mr. Geeky, nice done off the extra damage from Ballistic, getting it down. Gonna be able to get the double Q that lands and gets the kill, and that's another kill over to the Seraphine. And honestly, I don't think it's bad to get some of these kills onto a Seraphine at all.
No, it will definitely help her get the items that she needs. She needs the diadem and then the echoes, and then once she gets that, I think like her AD carry is pretty happy in lane.
The constant sustain, the constant shielding.
Yeah.
Echoes of Helia is absolutely disgusting on champions like Sona, like Seraphine. And like you said, the Ashe is going to be very, very appreciative of that. And then everything else is just kind of bonus. Whatever the Seraphine decides that they, oh wow, that's a chunk of damage coming out from the Mandalorian. Going to get the bounce, and he was looking for the Gnar ult. Not going to actually get it there. Actually, it wasn't even up for him, so he was very close to that Gnar ult, but not going to be able to do so. And I think he could have taken that kill if he wanted to get it, but also the Mandalorian has the ult ready. Narva, though, going to take a chunk of damage from the tower and forces their flash out of their Mandalorian. Not allowed to just sit there and farm safely under his tower, but is having a decent farm difference right now.
I didn't notice the farm difference at first, but...
Oh, and this bot lane, it can go either way. I'm very curious to see if Icarus is gonna, like, once he gets that super mega death rocket, immediately just let it rip. Box King though,
you just use that on cooldown now, I think.
Yeah, and then oh yeah, no, the cooldown honestly on the Jinx ulti is so deceptively short. It reminds me of literally the Ashe ulti being as short as it is as well. Once Ashe hits 6, at that point you just need to assume is the Enchanted Crystal Arrow up as the Shuriken goes with the R1 flip, not gonna be able to get a whole lot of damage, knocks out the tower, gonna be able to stun him off. R2 gonna land, and that's gonna be enough. Cyclone gonna be able to take that kill, but Vero now looking for some type of kill in return. Shinobi brought down to about 1/4 HP, and is gonna be able to just bear crawl away. Nicely done to secure that kill and get themselves on the board for the side of T3.
Look at the Dark Seals on the side of T3 right now. We've got Akali and Morgana with the Dark Seals in their inventory. Dark Seal wins game, if you all did not know that.
It shows that you have the confidence to be like, yeah, I'm willing to go in. Fox King, though, nearly taken out with that Dark Seal on his person. So that is definitely something you don't want to end up seeing. Enchanted Crystal Arrow was used in that engage, and that's what's going to end up securing it. Flash over to stop him, but the Super Mega Death Rocket going to be able to secure that shutdown onto the Ashe after the flash over, and not going to be able to protect them. Fox King now looking to try to get a little bit more damage to allow Icarus to be able to get this, but that's such a nice shutdown to be given to this Jinx, especially with the farm advantage that they've been developing over time.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that's a arguable point there. I mean, definitely what Jinx wants.
Cyclone gonna be getting chased down here, and Pandorum getting a little bit of revenge for that mid lane gank. Farrell, another assist for him as the Vel'Koz is gonna be able to put themselves on the board.
Okay. Alright, so objective-wise, we've got Drake spawning in about 2 minutes. I have no idea when, we did secure all 3 Void Grubs for T3. That's actually really good for them.
I think for their sieging, especially once, like you said, like once Jinx gets to a certain point, once
Yeah.
Volibear gets to a certain point, they're gonna be able to just keep knocking down these towers over and over again. And so it feels almost like, even though yes, the gold lead is in the side of T1, T3 right now really showing that they have some serious control in this game, as the Morgana ult gonna be able to come out the chains, not gonna be able to get it because the flash was used by Ballistic to get away from that. Nicely done by Ballistic to utilize that resource, but also Fox King to be able to force it out. This Morgana has just been so aggressive this laning phase.
Yes, she has been very aggressive, but that's kind of how you want to play that lane, if we're being honest.
And I feel bad for Mangalorean up in this top side, just having to constantly watch the farm fall so far away as the Gnar just pokes him down over and over and over again. It just seems so unfair, as Fox King is looking to be able to use the sweeper. Did not see the Seraphine there. I thought the binding would have immediately came out, but they do know that there is a ward in that brush, and Shinobi here wanting to try to make a lane gank, but I don't think Ballistic is gonna make it easy for him. But I feel bad because now they're starting to fall behind even more and more in this farm, in the farm deficit. About 24 farm up for the side of the T3's 80 carry, which is just something you don't want to see when this Ashe Seraphine was supposed to slam the lane. But Mangalorean getting dived up in the top side, gonna end up being able to get the 1v1 done and take down the Gnar, putting another kill for T1 onto the board. Oh, I didn't realize. Vero looking for Shinobi. Shinobi gonna be able to get the shield, trying to stall it for as long as possible. Vero gonna utilize the ultimate, try to keep Shinobi at bay. There we go. The laser coming out from Vel'Koz, but it's gonna be the Jinx able to secure the shutdown. Another great shutdown going over to the Jinx as Icarus tries to back away. Cyclone on the top side trying to take down Pandoran, but not gonna be able to do so. Fox King, Shinobi both on low HP. Mangalorean does not have the ulti. Use the TP to come down to try to stop the fight. That's at least it's a resource used, but at least it stops the fight here, as Ballistic though does find Cyclone and is looking to try to enhance the chase, being able to try to utilize the shroud. Is it gonna be enough? Ballistic now secures another kill for them in this game as they end up taking Cyclone.
Yeah, this is oh, that's Roa on Vel'Koz. Is that like a new build path? I always thought they went like Ludens.
It's either, like, I've noticed Ludens or Blackfire Torch as a first build for them. And this Rod of Ages, I'm not a big fan of Rod of Ages on mages that can't infinitely scale. So like if this is okay, we're playing the Vel'Koz mid, then that's very easy to you know, to kind of be like, oh, what's going on here? But like, oh, we can build this and stack up our AP over and over and over again off minions and off the off farm, off of the champions with the Q. But like, you're not getting that with Vel'Koz. You at least get a little bit more tankiness, which is nice for an immobile mage because that allows for more survivability. But if there isn't really any damage behind that, what are you guys doing in these team fights? And I think we're gonna start seeing that, especially once the Jinx gets more involved. Once they actually get the Jinx involved in these 5v5 fights.
Yeah, I think that's where Jinx is mainly gonna pop off here.
Ballistic though, gonna use the Intrusive Crystal Arrow, not gonna be able to keep Fox King down. Ballistic Demon almost taken out as Icarus continues to dish out so much damage. The barrier barely gonna be able to keep them alive as they continue to walk away. But Narva looking for revenge as they continue to chase him down, using the Gnar ult, slam into the wall, gonna be able to use the Unstoppable Force to get away. And Narva though with the Cinder Block, or actually the trophy, because this is the T1 Gnar, sends the trophy into the Mangalorean space and sends him back to the gray screen. As Vero coming up to the top side to defend the base. And it's just so unfortunate. This is like not what T1 wants to see, is the fact that T3, even though they're behind in kills, right now they are still keeping the gold within range of each other, because these farm advantages in different parts of the lanes is absolutely insane. 40 farm up for the top lane difference, as we do see Cyclone though does end up finding the Zen Zhao, utilizes Shuriken Flick to try to get away. The Shroud was dropped, gets him in. R2 gonna be able to get it, but not gonna be able to hit. And that's gonna be Cyclone though losing the 1v1 to this Zen Zhao, and that's another kill over to T1. Narva getting a little too close to the tower, taking down a little bit much, but now here is Mangalorean trying to be able to give chase. Now he's back to sustain his lane. Even though he's about 50 farm down, it's still going to be pretty good for him to keep just playing on this Malphite, as he's always going to have a use. Like, as long as he's tanky and he can just use that R button consistently, he's not too worried about being far behind in farm. So I think for him, he's doing pretty good. But you don't want to see, what you don't want to see in that bot lane right now is a 40 farm difference between the ADCs. That's just not fun. And Narva, though, looking like he's having fun. But Vero going ahead and chasing up. Yeah, you took the tower, but that's going to be your top laner dropping once again, and another kill given over to the Malphite. But bot lane going to be able to secure the first tower of the game, and that is going to start to open up the map a lot more for them and give them a lot more agency on this Drake. You see the pings coming out. Seraphine, you might be in a really bad spot. Encore gonna be taken, but the use of the ultimate from the Volibear gonna be able to go over to the side, go unstoppable, not affected by the Encore. And Jinx now firing off with the rocket. Cyclone now here, but Vero does see the Cyclone as well. He sees the other three members, but they're gonna jump right back on top of him. Vero going back to the safety of his team, as we do see Ballistic Demon trying to get some damage down, but Icarus going on a killing spree as he ends up taking him out himself. That's gonna be the ass drop, but Seraphine dropped the Volibear in return. That's gonna be the safe for the junglers as T3 continues to barrel down the chase, and Zin's out, able to take out the Morgana as the Shuriken flip goes back in. And Cyclone, you might have made a mistake trying to chase down the Seraphine. The R1 gonna be able to do it. You're gonna get the R2. He's just stunned up, not enough damage, but there it is. Finds it with the Q, able to take the shutdown down on the Seraphine, but loses their life to Pandorum in the mass of the chaos.
Jeez. I mean, T1 is definitely showing their resilience and coming back in this game too.
Yeah, and I do like seeing that they definitely are showing a lot more agency. I just feel bad that like once again, unfortunately, Ballistic is starting to fall behind, and you don't want that for this Ashe. The it looks like I believe it's gonna be Runon's built next for the Jinx here, as she's getting closer and closer to that slight 2-item power spike, where her attack speed becomes a little too much to handle. Once she gets one stack of getting excited, oh yo, you guys are looking down the barrel of a bad time for the side of T1. And yes, you're 1300 gold up, but that's not a surmountable enough lead for you to be like, yeah, we feel comfortable with this. When teams were getting, you know, at 20 minutes, they were almost 5-6k up on you. So I think for the side of T1, they want to try to make sure that they continue to extend this lead a little bit more, continue to utilize that safety that the Malphite is up in the top side, and allow for Vero to constantly be this ever-loving force all over the map. As you're going to see the T1 of the tier 1 tower drop in the top side, and Narva now looking for the fight with the Malphite, as we do see Ballistic Demon able to take out Icarus, as they end up getting caught up by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and Fox King's going to be the next one to drop as Vero ends up taking that out. Shinobi trying to be able to save something for their laners is going to be forced to back off, as the mid tier 1 going to drop in T1's favor.
All right, 6-14 right now. But the gold lead is not that big. We're taking drag.
I honestly like this. I think that this is smart from T1 to just go ahead and just secure whatever objective that they can. They know that the jungler is nowhere to be around at this point. He's not going to be able to contest against them, so it's better to just go ahead and put themselves on soul point. But we do see, though, up in this top side, as right now T3 is keeping themselves up in gold just by simply knocking down a lot of these towers. And we're going to see they barrel that Rift Herald right into the tier 3 up in the top side. But it's going to be Fox King finding Vero, trying to go around into their blue side jungle. Now going to be trapped up as the Audacious Charge comes out. Vero now looking to find Icarus, chasing him down as Ballistic Demon takes out the Fox King, and now it's an even 2v2. Icarus not going to be able to survive. Yes, he does, as the R2 comes out from the Akali to be able to get the perfect execution. But it's just going to be Icarus now taking down another kill, as the laser going to be forced to come out from Pandora to be able to get that kill. And Cyclone just just decided to walk it away as they don't want to seem to try to fight Pandorum at this current moment unless that Shuriken lands. Able to get it, tries to go in on the E2, getting a lot more damage. Electrocute going to come down, Shroud sees it, but the Encore going to be able to save him just for a little while longer. Roots him down, Hero forces the flash, brings down the Thunder Call, not going to be able to get the damage. Shuriken lands onto Seraphine, but Pandorum's able to walk away. The TP coming in, Cyclone does not take it back, and that is some well done saving from Mr. Geeky on the Seraphine to be able to keep Pandorum alive.
Right. And see, what I was talking about with like the 2 items for the Seraphine, this is kind of like what I wanted for like this entire team. It's really gonna help out big time in these big team fights.
I think if anything, the only thing I want to see from Seraphine at this point is that if they build even like the slightest bit of damage, just go for the Rylai's, like for that bit of utility, and just make it easier for you to be able to secure any target. You won't be so dependent on the Enchanted Crystal Arrow from the Ashe to be able to land onto the Jinx. Instead, you do have that ability to do that for yourself and also have more CC against the other members, such as the Akali or even this Gnar that is chasing down Pandorum and is just chunking down his HP. It's just so unfortunate. Gets knocked into the wall, banged down, and 1v1 is taken in Narva's favor as we do find Shinobi off in their blue side. And Crystal Arrow going to come down, audacious charge immediately into Shinobi. He's not going to be able to get under his tower. Vero going to be able to take that kill. And now it's just them versus no one. This tower being slowly pushed in the wave. They want to secure this top tier 1. They're going to be able to do so and try to match right now what the Gnar is doing as they're continuously pushing in these side lanes. So even though they're getting things on the map here, it is still only a 100 gold lead for the side of T1. 9 to 17 doesn't even feel like it matters right now as T3 is continuously taking these towers, but it's looking like the Baron is what T1 is what they want, but they're not going to let them just have it. They know that they're on it. Icarus trying to get a little bit of vision, and they have no choice. T3 looking to go in blue side. They might be able to stop it. Vero comes off. Cyclone lands the Shuriken, looking for his next target. Going in, gets knocked off to the side, but Cyclone gonna be able to take a Ballistic Demon off to the top side as Icarus gets taken out by the Malphite. Double kill going over to the Akali, and they're continuing the chase. Gonna be able to get the stun as they've been able to push them away. Vero now trying to get away. Shield comes down. Are you gonna be able to get it? The laser dropped, and it's gonna be able to drop 2 different members. Vero absolutely barely alive as they would be able to be saved by Pandorum, and now they're chasing down Narva, but he's gonna be able to take that kill, and this Gnar does so much damage, and it's like so many members trying to get around, but Mandalorian is not he's saved, and Fox King gonna be able to help hold him down as Narva's able to take that kill, and Pandorum is the sole member left alive on the side of T1, and now the gold lead swings back to the side of T3. They may be behind in kills, but these team fights and these objectives that they've been taking on the map for the towers has absolutely kept them in this game the entire time. Narva though gets hit by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but not afraid though, but Ballistic Demon with the volley gonna be able to secure that kill. 50 farm up on the Malphite doesn't matter when you're stunned and locked, and the Ashe gets another kill.
Hey, you know what, the kills are going on the right person here though. I mean, you want those kills on Ashe.
Is Fox King baiting like Pandorum? I don't know. Like they were just standing there, like they weren't even channeling a recall or nothing. They were just standing there. So it's just like, wait, what's going on here? But they do see here, Vero knows that there's 2 members here. He has to know. Yep, and that's why he's gonna back off. Tries to get the spear to land on the Shinobi, doesn't, not able to, so he can't get the charge in. But I don't think he wants to charge in on that without the rest of his team nearby. Shinobi though, I think saw barely that the Malphite was walking down, so gonna be able to just back off as they continue the setup here. T1 wanting to continue the chase, but it's actually still a slight lead more for the side of T3 as they are 1.3 up. And that's actually kind of a surprise with the way that this game's been going in the early game. But here is the soul point Drake, and they gonna want to fight for it, trying to pull it out as Narva is the first one to show up. Cyclone off on the flank. They don't know that the Kali is behind, but they're waiting to see where they possibly could appear. Shinobi trying to find some way into this Drake pit to try to contest the dragon as Vero continues to rock it down. 3.2k on the Drake. They're gonna look for it as Mandalorian rooted up and stunned up. Vero goes in. Narva gonna be able to take out Mandalorian, but that's gonna be the jungler also falling. healing. So Shinobi not gonna be able to get anything, as it's also gonna be Mr. Geeky dropping from Cyclone off of the backside. Is Ballistic Demon gonna be able to take out 2 different members on the side of T3, but it might potentially end up losing their life. Fox King gonna also be able to take out the Ash, keeping them off, but Pandorum is there to try to stop them, and that's gonna be the drop of the Fox King, and that's gonna be the ace of T3, as T1 now takes that massive fight for them to be able to secure this soul point.
This is a big objective for Team 1 here.
And it's nice to see that T1, after the last game where they gave up all 4 Drakes, is now going to be able to take all 4 Drakes and get us a very early 24.5-minute Dragon Soul for themselves. So they do still have the Baron as one of the objectives that they could take. They attempted to take that, and it led to a really crazy fight off on that top side. And now the gold lead still in the favor right now of T3, but at the very least, it's within a punching margin for the side of T1. But I think, again, they don't want to see that the 16 to 26, you don't want to see that you're only 100 gold behind another team that shouldn't be ahead of you at this current state of the game.
Yeah, no, I completely agree here.
But then we look at the farm differences, and it's like, oh, 40 farm up to the top side, and then we see a dang near Flame Horizon about to happen off on the bot side as 214 farm to 133 between these bot laners. That's just not fun for either one. And we do see the farm disparity between the 2 junglers, which is keeping Xin Zhao ahead, and hence why this gold lead hasn't really moved from each other. It's such a spread of where these advantages are for both teams that it's just like, oh man, that's why this gold lead is literally neck and neck. Even though if you look at it, you turn off nameplates, turn off the gold, you would immediately think, oh yeah, T1 has this in the bag. But now, actually, you look at it, and there's not even as many towers taken. T1 has only been able to take 2 towers on the map, while you literally see their entire top side is nearly gone with only having their tier 3, and then tier 1's being taken on either one, the bot side and the mid. But now, Fox King being found out by Ballistic Demon, getting tagged by a couple of the different auto attacks as they go multiple members. Mandalorian gonna be able to find Icarus all alone, singling them out. 5 members drop right on top of them, and that's going to be the Jinx down, and that's the big advantage for the side of T3 that they need. Now Shinobi trying to find someone off in the backside, off of the flank, goes over the wall, but not going to be able to do so. Laser comes down, going to chunk them down to a bit of damage, and Narva on the Gnar trying to make something happen off of the Gnar bar, but they can't do it, and with them feeling substantially weaker now, it's going to be the Baron over to the side of T1. I honestly don't know how, at this point, how does T3 actually come back into this game?
I'm not sure how you make a comeback out of this one. I mean, you're gonna have to fight for Elder, I guess, is like the only thing that I can really like come to, because I mean, you're fighting like Dragon Soul right now, and the only chance that you really have is to fight for Elder, but these teams are so far ahead.
And it's like, even the gold lead doesn't show it though. Enchanted Crystal Arrow gonna land on the Fox King, and that's gonna be a target singled out. Ballistic Demon now getting another kill for themselves. 8, 5, and 10 onto this Ash, but now Ash being the target for the enemy team as Narva looking for him. Shinobi gonna be able to tag them. That's gonna be Cyclone taking the shutdown, but Cyclone also losing their life as the rest of the team just immediately gets obliterated off of a big encore Xin Zhao combination. They finally find the main opening that they need. They're gonna start guiding these Baron minions to the mid lane, and we finally see our first real surmountable gold lead in this game at 3K, and they're looking for more.
Yeah, they're looking for more in the base of Team 3 right now.
Team 1 really wants revenge, like not necessarily revenge, but they want redemption for that game 1. They were not expecting it to go the way that they did, as the Fox King, the lone member of T3, trying to do something to be able to stop these towers from being taken. Nexus Tower 1 drops, Nexus Tower 2 gonna drop. Baron Power minions barreling down on the Nexus, and is it gonna be enough? The laser comes down, they're trying to fight it out, but it's not gonna be able to be done so. 17 to 32, and that's gonna be T1 being able to get a victory, going 1-1 on the night currently.
That is awesome. Nice comeback. Very nice play. That Ballistic Demon and Mr. Geeky made a very, very strong bot lane, regardless of being down so much CS.
They just needed they just need the team fight situations. I've seen some people who play AD carry like that, where maybe they're not the absolute best in the laning phase, and they might not be able, as long as they sustain themselves into the mid game and be able to at least get some items out of it, they're able to make it work. And even though, yes, we did see Ballistic Demon going behind the Jinx, Icarus on the Jinx, they still were able to be, once again, be useful. Ashe, always useful with that Enchanted Crystal Arrow. And that was the same thing I was saying about Mandalorian up in the top side. Like, oh, even if this Malphite falls terribly behind, as long as they get super tanky and find the right targets with their ultimate, it doesn't matter how far behind this Malphite is. They always have that special tool that's gonna make them useful in every single fight. And Ballistic and Mandalorian both being those two very great catalysts for that, allow for more damage to be dropped by Xin Zhao, allow for the encores to land, especially when the Enchanted Crystal Arrow came into play, and Pandorum being able to drop a lot of their Vel'Koz damage on top of it. Yes, I wasn't a big fan of this cooldown with Rod of Ages build in particular, but it definitely ended up working out. So, with that much said, we are going to take it in a break until game 3, and I believe the last game of the night. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back with the Titan Esports starting out for Emerald 4, and we'll see you guys right after this break.
Hey.
And welcome all to Titan Esports as we are going to be bringing you the final game of the scouting grounds for Emerald 4 tonight. I am your caster for Play-by-Play Malco, and I am joined by Rap Terror here to be able to finalize out these games. How are you doing tonight? Thank you for joining in on us today.
I came out of retirement just for this. I gotta get my casting in and teach these damn kids how to play League of Legends. But I'm just really happy to be here. I've missed casting, so I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to see some new talent too. This is just the kind of thing that's right up my alley. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how everyone does today. I've heard it's been some pretty good games.
It definitely has been, and I feel like, because right now we've been basically following the journey of Team 1 and how well they've either have or have not been able to do with these particular series. Their game 2 was definitely a better showing for them, especially from their jungler and top laner. I think for them, that is kind of where a lot of their strength lies, is in that top side, where they do have a pretty stable bot lane, but the bot lane needs to eventually get into those team fight situations to be able to see more use for them, as we did see in the last game, where it was the Ashe Seraphine lane. And even though they couldn't push the lane like they wanted to or pressure the lane as much as they wanted to, they were still able to make something happen come that team game fight, where a lot of these enchanted crystal arrows were able to land, and they were like, yes, we can really utilize this combination. And I wouldn't be surprised if T1 tried to just slam that combination again in this game 3 to be able to get the win. We do see here now the bans are going through, guys, in the draft, as T1 has so far banned the Volibear and Orianna. Actually, a pretty interesting combination that some people wouldn't be too surprised by if they saw come through for like an Ori ball delivery combination. And we do get the Sion and the Caitlyn being banned on the side of from the side of T4, as we do see Pandorum is apparently a Sion one-trick pony in mid, I believe, and so it's been banned every single game so far in T1's little string of series going on right now. And we do see, to finalize the bans, is going to be the Rumble and then the Fury.
Yeah, I get it. Even if it wasn't a one trick on it, I'd ban it too. Sion mid is actually really busted right now. He plays very well into a lot of matchups, and even if he's not doing that hot in lane, it doesn't matter. He's still gonna end up becoming just a monster later on. So tanky, so difficult to really push out, and even if you kill him, he still farms it up. So good to see that out of the way. We're gonna see Senna, we're gonna see Nocturne, we're gonna see, I'm guessing that's mid Galio. It's been a while since I've seen a Galio go elsewhere, but it could be a flex to support too. That'd be interesting, but I think that's a really good wombo combo.
Yeah, it's another one of those, like we talk about, where you want that delivery of something, and Nocturne is probably one of the best people to be able to get on top of someone in the backline and immediately deliver some either backline damage, as we would have seen with Orianna if that was going to be picked here. But this time it's with the semi-global, or even the global as it gets in later into the game, ultimate of the Galio, to be able to kind of make those numbers advantages at least go in their favor much quicker than you could expect just from a standard TP. And we do get from the side of T4, they're gonna end up being getting the Twitch here, which is ADC I haven't seen very often, and I'm glad to see it getting picked here. It's something a little bit different than what you get from like the Caitlyn's, the Ashes, the Kaisas of the day that you have. And T1, I guess, is gonna be putting up on their top side is gonna be Mangalorean on the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, they're looking for a really aggressive setup and engage potential, because Galio already has 2 targets he can go in on. He can go in on the Twitch, which can get him in pretty close. He's got the Nocturne for the engage. I actually think it's funny that there's Twitch. So on my commute back home, I was thinking about, I was like, I haven't seen Twitch in a while. I wonder if we'll see a Twitch today. And boom, there he is. That might have to do my Mickey Mouse voice for this for him. But Yuumi gonna be with him too. That's not a surprise. That's a pretty strong pair. Cat's hidden, suddenly pops out of nowhere. Just ult, both of them ult. It's pretty much a guaranteed kill. So I'm not surprised there. Renekton gonna be the response. A very nice lane bully. Someone who can also, you got Nocturne going in. You've got Galio going in. Twitch is gonna honestly get pretty close. The Renekton will be in a really solid spot for that. Actually, they've got really 3 solid picks here between Pantheon, Cho'Gath, and Renekton for dealing with that engage, because it requires everyone to get on top of you. easy follow-up, easy stuns, easy ways to layer that to make it difficult. And I think it's a tale in this draft of one team very solidly drilling T4 onto this heavy engage comp, and on the side of T1 playing this counter engage. There's a lot of counter engage. The only thing that's not is Senna, and that's okay. Senna doesn't need to be the counter engage. You have Cho'Gath to silence and knock anybody up. You got Pantheon to stun. You got Renekton to stun. You've got Nami for bubble and tidal wave. Like, there's a lot of potential here to stop T4 from doing what they want to do. The question is, can they execute on it? That's going to be the main question.
And even if the composition looks pretty easy to execute, especially with T1, I would honestly still hate to be Galio mid in this situation where the Pantheon and the Renekton mid can just jump on top of you and CC chain you for the point where you can't even move. And then you, especially in this early game, where Galio isn't as tanky, and he primarily is the anti-mage. He's not anti-AD. So it's not gonna be a very fun time for Galio at this moment. As we're about to see, he's probably gonna get pushed out here. I do like seeing Vero wanted to go in, utilize the stun, trying to drop a little damage onto him. Pandorum following behind his jungler. They're gonna get the little ward into that brush there. Still be able to see if when Nocturne goes onto his Raptors. But it was definitely a nice little push. Everybody always wants to try to get that little Raptor buff or that little, Raptor ward to try to get that little bit of CS, or not CS, but vision advantage. And because of that, Keegs can actually just go immediately to the opposite Raptors and take it away from the Pantheon, definitely halting a little bit of his progress.
Yeah, gonna kind of get a push back a bit there. And I think Nocturne honestly might look even for pre-6 engage right now. Like, this is a very immobile bot lane, and while it does have those disengage tools, if Twitch and Yuumi can bait that out, Nocturne might have an easy time getting on them. I mean, once he gets the fear and the spell shield, like he'll be able to deal with that pretty easily. So could be looking for it. I guess the question, though, is if he's going to get scouted by these minions. I don't see any pings going down, so I don't know if they've seen him. It's the kind of danger about doing those Krugs is that it's just easy to spot somebody doing them if you're not standing in the right spot, but it looks like they didn't catch him. So, yeah, here he comes. He's coming around for this this gank.
Yep, and they're gonna at least have to be forced to summon their spell out. Gonna get the snare, gives the spell shield. Gotta have the tether. Mr. Kiki gonna be is gonna be feared and forced out, but they're not gonna get any summoner spells out of it except for the heal, and that one's generally a shorter cooldown. So as long as they don't get the flash, I think it was well worth it. Nicely done to minimize the damage that gank could possibly cause.
Yeah, I think the heal, you didn't need to, but it's better to be safe than sorry. But it definitely was a gank that wasn't super coordinated. I don't know if they're communicating properly about it, because Nocturne, you see him come in, and Yuumi and Twitch are really backed off. They're not even, like, in position to follow up, so not a lot of opportunity. And that spotting, that was perfect time for Pantheon. He's going down. He's already gone up. He's taking the red. Hasn't got it yet. There he goes. I'm gonna forget it for a moment. But yeah, he's gonna just trade red sides. So, also looking for a gank opportunity for the Cho'Gath. There's the flash, but still very gankable. Pantheon will have a much easier time than Nocturne 360.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. He has a literal, like, one button to be able to lock someone down. And people, early game CC is such an underrated thing, especially for where people are like, oh, I might not have enough damage to be able to actually do anything. Yeah, but the CC plus your damage at least leads to a summoner being used, potentially later on in the game. Oh, we get the first blood up on the top side. It's going to be, again, the Pantheon coming in, as there's going to be get Dougie fresh. You're not going to be able to get away as he taunts towards the Mandalorian, but it's going to be the CC stun, and Vero with the Q able to secure that first kill and first blood up on that top side. Mandalorian was having a rough time with the Shen, but Pandorum gonna also be able to return the kill onto that, or get another kill for the side of T1 as they get the 1v1 on DXBS on the Galio in the mid lane.
Yeah, I was gonna question the Cho'Gath going top over Renekton. I always feel like Cho'Gath just does so much better against casters in the mid, and especially the Galio.
Wait, Ballistic.
Oh!
Geeky gonna be able to use the ebb and flow to be able to get that kill. Now the snare onto Yumi. Yumi having no one to go ahead and try to tether themselves to. Has to just walk it out under their tower. Utilizing the Q. Gonna be able to get a chunk of damage, but nearly taken down. Both summoner spells used by Singular Bread in that bot side. And that's gonna be the first, that's gonna be another advantage given over to the side of T1 as they go 1.3k gold up in this game at 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, I honestly thought like he was invisible in the bush, but I guess not, and he just goes down. So it's just wins across the map right now for T1. They're finding really good opportunities, though. They may have stayed too long in the bot lane.
There he is, Bray dishing out as much damage as possible on the Ballistic, and that's gonna be enough damage to be able to take him down and give a kill over to this Twitch, putting them up on the board for the side of T4.
Yeah, I mean, he came back with his serrated Dirk, so no surprise, gonna get the kill, staying too long. But on the bright side, he did get about half health, so once he pushes, he's gonna probably be forced to back anyways. He can't really stay around or go roam out for another lane. And topside, Shen gets a kill, gets the solo kill onto the Cho'Gath, so turning a little bit back here for T4. They're managing to stabilize already. Good, they didn't let that get to their head, those losses, but still a rough position to be in, I think, for mid lane, mostly because I don't know if Galio has the power to really on his own get back into it against Renekton. Renekton's a lane bully, and once you get ahead like that, it's kind of hard to get for your opponent to get back in.
And we do see, like, it's going to be a literal... What I like about this is now you're forcing a first item Bramble out of the Galio, so then he's constantly trying to fight against the sustain that the Renekton brings for themselves when dueling in these lanes. But again, as you said, he's a constant bully. Bubble, though, gonna land onto Bray. Ebb and Flow snare comes down, forces the cleanse out as Vero is walking up, spotted on the ward. So Bray and Singular Bread currently safe for just this moment. But Pantheon could easily, if they decide to step up, Pantheon could potentially make an easy wraparound gank.
So the gold, only 700 difference between these two teams, so not a bad position. It's really just that extra kill in the pocket for T1, I think, but might get a little bit more here. They do have the dragon coming up, so they're going to look to claim this. They've already got the scuttle. You got Renekton roaming down, so they're pretty locked in on this. It doesn't look like T4 is even going to try to contest. It's just first Drake, but I think Ocean is a solid Drake, especially for the laning phase. It really helps deal with some of that harassment coming out, especially from Bray, especially from the Galio. But oh, Nocturne!
Keegs trying to find a way to go ahead and steal that. Drake not going to be able to do so. Vero going to be able to secure that kill. The spell shield not enough to save them from any other CC or anything coming out. Ballistic, though, I think they know that Bray is here. Evan Flow going to come out, snare them down. Doesn't have the cleanse to get away this time, though. The tag on Grand Starfall coming down forces the flash out of Bray, and immediately this Twitch forced right back under the tower and to back once again.
Yeah, cleanse down, flash down. This Twitch is going to be a pretty easy gank opportunity. Even without Grand Starfall, it's not hard for Pantheon to get back in. I'm betting he is a little disappointed. Like, if he had flash, he probably could have chased them, but he used that earlier to chase the Nocturne, so all good. He still got the kill overall, and no Sums bot. Lead starting to build up. It's starting to look really good for T1 already in this early game. Now, granted, they're still got a lot of League of Legends to go here. We're only 7.5 minutes in, but great.
Oh, look at that bubble landing right onto Bray. So now he can no longer continue as Ballistic Demon just keeps putting this damage down. And the constant healing from this Nami Senna bot lane. This is actually kind of insane. The shielding healing from the Aerie, from Nami's ebb and flow, plus the fact that the Q on Senna continuously heals them, and they do have the extra security with the Senna ultimate coming over the top as well. This is just absolutely absurd for the side for the bot lane of T1, as they do have a little bit of a lead for the side of T1. Oh, these Void Grubs are definitely going to go over to the Nocturne unless Vero ends up fighting him first, trying to get the second one and wants to get away. Pandorum, though, coming in to go on the Keys as the ultimate comes down from Dibs, and it's not going to be enough. The lights get turned out, but Vero going on a killing spree as he's able to take out the Nocturne. He's looking like Galio, gonna be the next target. This is the Shen trying to get the last bit of the Void Grubs double kill, going over to the Pantheon, but at what cost? As he gets a triple kill, 5-0 jungle Pantheon, 20 farm up. This is not what you want to see from the side of T4 as they go 3k gold down, and now they're being chased down by what's basically 2 supports against this Twitch. Twitch now using the rat-a-tat-tat, trying to go ahead and bin out this wave. Ballistic stepping up. Bray trying to get a little bit more damage. Tidal wave gonna come down. Bray now going invisible, having to run away as the bubble catches the Yuumi, not able to go back over to the Twitch, and that's gonna be even more forced out as both Sums are left now dead for Singular Bread on this Yuumi, and they're going to be backing again. The pressure of this Nami Senna is constantly forcing the Twitch back. Yes, it's slightly up in farm, but there's nothing you can do if you're constantly backing. You can't even itemize right.
This is something I wish people did more, because it's something as a Senna main I love doing, and I wish people just, realize you don't always have to go Senna with Tahm Kench or a tank. You can run Senna with AD carry as a regular within a regular enchanter support, and it will be so good. But hang on, we might have another kill. No, okay, they're gonna back off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of power. Senna, like, if you put her with an enchanter, or if you have her on support with a regular AD carry, you can actually trade so incredibly well. The healing is strong, the damage is strong, and ooh.
That's going to be a lot of damage coming out from the Twitch, and that's not even with the ultimate. That's going to be a kill. Going over to Brez. Now they're chasing down Mr. Geeky. Might be able to get the second, but we're getting another fight up at the top side as Pandorium is now chasing down the Galio. You lights go out. Keeks looking for a target as they do know the Pantheon is there. Dominus going to be coming out from the Nectin, but Pandorium's going to be able to drop down the Nocturne. You're going to be able to continue the fight as Pantheon going dominating, able to take out the Galio. Now it's going to be the Shen trying to chase down the Nectin on such low HP, but another double kill going over to the Pantheon. That is now a 7-0 Pantheon in the jungle that's roaming around. You don't want to see that and be 5k gold down at 11 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't think Pandorum was getting out of that. I am actually shocked he did. We're gonna I'll start with there, and then we'll jump back to the earlier fight. But very, very well played from the side of T1. They know it's a 2v3. They're backing up. They bait Nocturne into jumping Keeks. Like, I can get Pandorum. This will be easy. And Pandorum just throws an enhanced Q, heals a super amount, and just immediately nukes him. And then it's just from there, they keep thinking they can get him. Like, okay, at least we can get this Renekton, and we can turn on Pantheon. Nope, Renekton just keeps healing. He keeps hitting these enhanced Qs, and it just does so much work. Now on this bottom side, here's the ball.
Yep, and this is the combination that we were hoping to see with the Nocturne coming down to be able to help as Senna gets dropped. Grand Starfall going to be able to drop on top of them, but that's going to be a fed Pantheon coming in after your Twitch, and he is so soon gone. The bubble not going to be able to land, but the slows and the ebb and flow gonna give it to the Pantheon, and Vero's carrying this game on his back once again. 10-0 on the Pantheon, and that is the Drake secured for the side of T1.
This is in solo queue would be a moment where my team would just scream and just go GG 15, FF15. That's 10-0 Pantheon with an assist. That is absurd. He is so far ahead of his opponent. I have to see how much he has when he backs, but I've got to say he might be up a whole almost 2 items on his opponent right now. That is actually insane at 12 minutes into the game. Look at that. Look at that gold difference. Twice the gold. Almost exactly twice the gold that we see Kriegs have. That's insane for a jungler. That is some impressive Pantheon play we're seeing here, and I love it. I love every second of it. Really good coming in. Hey, my team's gonna die. Everyone keeps the chase going, but they don't see the Grand Starfall until Twitch, forgetting that anyone within that circle can see him, gets jumped on, gets pulverized, and once he's dead, it's just like, okay, well, Nocturne used it, blew everything to get in there. Now they just slowly chase him down to his death. They add more kills to the numbers. Pantheon actually did not get a second full item, but I mean, he's close. Like, look how close he is on that item. This is brutal.
It's so important because he decided to complete his plated steel caps there, and that's gonna mean so much more. We do see the root bubble not gonna land as the flash comes out from Bray. Now Ballistic having to try to get away. Tidal Wave gonna land onto the Twitch. Twitch able to use the expunge and get the last bit of those last bit of autos to be able to get the damage down. And now he's chasing under the tower, but is gonna lose his life. Yes, you give the kill to the Nami, but that's another kill over to the Twitch, something that he definitely could use, as the Nami does also go down as well. Yuumi left all alone as Nocturne was coming down. But even though this bot lane is able to get a decent amount done, being 6,000 gold down at 15 minutes is still not a good look for your team.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, we said earlier, like, hey, this is a really strong lane. I like it. You still have to respect Twitch. Once Twitch gets ultimate, he's basically in free AD whenever he pops that. You cannot trade with him very well. Senna struggles, honestly, until she hits about the, I'd say about the 100 soul stat mark. Or if you're on AD carry, like your second or third item, she kind of struggles. She's this late scaling AD carry, and Twitch has an earlier power spike. So it's definitely not someone that you want to try to take those trades. And I have to ask if their bot lane is, like, you know, they need to just be a little bit more cautious. Oh, hang on, another fight going on there.
Oh, we're going to see the lights get turned out as Vero is going to be the target. That 10-0 Pantheon is what they want, but it's not going to be able to get it as he goes 11-0, able to take out the Twitch, and they're going legendary as he continues to chase. Yuumi going to be able to help the Nocturne get out of there. Another fight, and it's going to be the strongest member on the side of T4 is what drops, and they no longer can fight. Turrets now starting to drop on both sides of the map, and this gold lead is becoming even more insurmountable for the side of T4 to overcome, as the Shen and the Yuumi are now looking for Mandalorian, but they gotta be careful. The Scram Starfall can come down at any point. This tanky Cho'Gath trying to walk it out as Nocturne now is walking down towards the Mandalorian. You might have to be a sacrifice for your team. You do still have the flashes under the turret. Rifto gets secured, towers get secured for the side of T1, and they are just starting to run away with this game at about 10, almost 10k gold up, sitting at about 8.4.
The last time I saw a gold lead like this at this point in the game was a T1 game at Worlds. I want to say it was against a minor region, but this is actually insane just how far ahead they are. Now, Twitch might be able to get something back here. He is looking. The tidal wave coming through, though.
Oh no, Tidal Wave managed to land, get the roots down, and Yuumi just says, you know what, see you later, Bray, I'm out of there, as they're gonna go ahead and abandon the Twitch to not give any more kills over to the side of T1 as they secure another one, this time it going over to, I believe it was the Senna finally getting their first kill of the game, and this is just not good for them at all right now. 10k gold down, 16-6. Towers being dropped. What does T4 even do here to come back into this game?
I think they just need to draw it out. Like, Pantheon can only get so powerful. I mean, he will eventually cap out, and he isn't like a late game champion. Not compared to Twitch. Ooh, that flash taunt did not end well.
Nope, and now Nami's here to go ahead and give a little bit of the extra sustain. I really like seeing Mr. Geeky all over the map to be able to help his laners, even though he's got to steal the kills. The Cho'Gath not going to be able to get the feast stacked at all on that Shen, but it's also going to lead to Ballistic Demon being left alone here. I do really like seeing Mr. Geeky really travel around here. Grand Starfall coming out. Vero trying to show the type of jungler that they are. Can't catch up as the slow. Not going to be enough. If the Nami was there, they might have been able to make it. But it's gonna be Bray able to get away. Ballistic Demon doesn't know that Bray is right there, though. The lights turned out, trying to flash barrier away, not gonna be able to get the ult out, and that's gonna be the end of his life. That's good. And then now we have the Galio coming in, now a 3v3 fight between the ADC, the jungle, and the mid lane, and then the opposite team support ADC, support top lane and jungle. But that could be a very disadvantageous fight. Big bubble lands, but Bray gonna be able to get a big kill onto the Cho'Gath as Vero forced to run away onto the opposite side. Mr. Geeky might have to be able to give up their life, try to land the bubble to get a little bit more, able to sustain just a little while longer, but that's just gonna be it. 2 big kills given over to the side of T4, and the Drake secured in their name.
Yeah, I don't know why they left Senna alone. Like, you saw Twitch go back towards your side of the map in the river. That's setting up for him to come back around. But Also, just a little bit off on just the engaged targets. Like, you can see Vero was really looking to get onto that Twitch, but just couldn't. And they're forced to scramble, running away, and they just slowly the layers start building up, and T4 finally gets the kills. They start getting into this game. This is what we're saying. Like, you let it scale up a bit, and all this gold being on one person means that a lot of these other members are not as powerful. They're actually pretty comparable to their lane opponents right now. So no surprise here. They can take that fight. I did see, though, Galio was about to chase Vero and went, wait. I can see the lights ahead. It's going, wait. I'm going to die if I do that. I should not be chasing him. It will be painful. But yeah, so they're back in. They get a dragon. It's just a Mountain Drake that will be the soul for this game. So starting to get those stacking will be very good for them. Galio and Shen would love to have those tank stats. So would, honestly, the Twitch. While he's not tanky, just having a little extra might keep him alive. But it's still a rough spot to be in. They're still down 8k gold. They're, a real fight could break out at some point and
we
really
get a
mess
little
them up.
bit of a real fight here as Pandorium might be able to get the last bit of the slice and dice. Can he do it? Nocturne getting called in, though. Gonna go nearsighted, but it's not gonna be enough. Keeks trying to go in with the ultimate, gonna beat them down, but they don't realize that Bray is here. Pandorium gonna need to try to slice and dice to get away. They're gonna be able to do it, slow him down just a little bit more, and they're just gonna hand deliver that kill. No! The Senna from downtown all the way on the other, all the way from mid lane, able to take out Keeks, chasing them down and forcing Bray to back off.
I see why the ball in Ballistic is capitalized, because he was balling right there. That Senna shot was beautiful. It's just right down the middle, right into the Nocturne. Quick pickup on the kill, and that's 2 for nothing in the favor of T1 here, and they're also going to get this mid turret, so looking good. Bray is here, but I don't know if you want to go on Ballistic this time, bud. You don't have your Nocturne here. He doesn't, I mean, he's around. There's no ult. There's Galio ult, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to challenge them. But now the kill's starting to spread around a bit on T1. They're starting to see some more coming up here, and Senna's getting a couple. Renekton's got a few. So they're spreading around, which is good. They need that. You really don't want to funnel everything just into Pantheon. You want to get that spread out a little bit. And
oh no, please continue. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. I was just thinking, because I'm watching the Shen. I feel like this has not been a good Shen pick. I feel like I've watched him fail taunts and flashes multiple times now, and it's cost him his life almost every time.
I don't even think I've noticed a really good Stan United this game either so far. Like, I haven't really seen him utilize that tool. Like, that's the big part of this global team that they have. Like, their top side is completely global. Oh, man, Mr. Geeky getting chunked down. The damage tidal wave is going to come down, force the flash, and utilize the ebb and flow. Could this still be the death of Ballistic? No, the barrier able to save them from the additional damage. That Twitch is so dangerous with 2 items right now. They really got to start to respect them.
Yeah, like if your Pantheon is not around or Renekton, you shouldn't be near that Twitch. I mean, like, I get it. They're getting souls off of him, but like once you get your soul back off, like it takes time for that to recharge, and you need more time. If you give him that time, you will die. So not quite the place you want to be, but I think the others, the 2 big assassin-y characters on the side of T1 are a little problematic still for that Twitch. But yeah, I think though he is really the big threat for T4. All of their kills but 2 are in his pocket, and one of those is on Yuumi, so it's kind of buffing him directly. And oh my god, almost explodes. Has to burn that cleanse.
Yep, and then there's the healing from Yuumi right there. Gonna be able to save Twitch quite a bit. Doesn't have the ultimate yet, so can't really do anything to help wave clear against this squad. But they do see Keeks is off on the flank off to the side, and with this tower vision, he should be able to just jump on whoever he wants. But with Vero right there, it's not smart for them at all, as they do also see that Gav is trying to meet the Renekton down off in the mid lane, off in the bot lane. But now they're mid lane tier 3, gonna drop. They're looking for Bray. Lights go out, and this is gonna be a big ult from behind as Bray goes on a rampage, able to take down the bot laners, and they're continuing the chase. Vero though might not be able to get that kill. It's not gonna be enough. Triple kill going over to the Twitch. Is this what we're looking for? Could it be it? As Megalorian trying to save the rest of his team. Quadra kill to the Twitch. Pandorum is the only living member, and that's so much gold given over to T4. A big fight that they were looking for, and it's gonna be Keeks legs though, dropping as Pandorum goes on a rampage. Bray really wants that pentakill, but instead of giving up his life to the crocodile, he's gonna back off.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, he might have gone too
no.
close. There's Shen'el. There's Teleport. There's a lot coming in.
Shields. The Stand United. This is the one Stand United that you were looking for. His Twitch is going to be able to get it. The unofficial pentakill for the Rat in the bot lane, as it's going to be carrying it on the back of this Rat. They're trying to win this game for the side of T4, and we're starting to see some cracks from the side of T1.
Script, they say. That's a rat if I've ever seen one. He's, my goodness. Oh, hang on. They might not be able to get this dragon, though.
Yeah, not anymore. That Senna and Nami coming in at the right time as the TP comes in from behind. That's going to be Mandalorian trying to find a target. The lights going off to try to stop any more advance from the side of T1. But that definitely could still be their Drake, as Yuumi barely gets out alive right there, and is going to be able to back without giving up another death. Hasn't given up any other deaths since that first initial one early on in the game, which is really nice. But an alive Yuumi is not what it's not always the best member to stay alive on the team. And so this Drake now going to fall to the side of T1 and put them onto Soul Point.
Yeah, that was a long series of events. Starting from the beginning, that was the ideal situation for T4. They get a flank, they manage to pile all of their global ults on top of each other, and manage to make it a 4v5. And Vero is strong, but when both of his bot laners are just dead immediately off the rip of the fight, there's not really much you can do. You're basically playing 2v5, and even at 11-0, that's just not going to work for you. Balls dead.
Immediately shredded. Not even the full armor pin item yet, but that's gonna be it as this tower starts to drop. Redemption getting dropped down. So much tower damage being taken by Vero, as they're not even able to get really any damage onto these members. Here comes Bray off to the backside. They gotta watch out for this Twitch. Shin gonna go down as the Mongolian gonna be able to take him off, but he's gonna have to give up his life as the Twitch is able to take him down, getting another kill for himself again. The lights go out. Eternal Darkness as Vero is trying to fight him off. Is not gonna be able to do so. He gets away as Pandora manages to find the Twitch off on the backside, but still so healthy and continuing the chase. Now, Mr. Geeky might be the one found next as he's slowing down, and he's gonna be jumping over the wall. Nicely done to slice and dice and get the Twitch. Vero gonna be able to take that kill, and Yuumi gonna be able to fall to Mr. Geeky in contention. That is nicely done. It was a nice little bait. They wanted to continue the chase. The Twitch got too greedy and he ate, and now he's gonna end up losing his life for it here, and that's gonna be a little bit more of the advantage given back to the side of T1, but T4 is still not going down without a fight.
I actually think Bray is done now. I'm looking at, well, one, he's almost full build, but looking over, there's a Serpent Fang on Pantheon. This is done now. That's gonna hurt. So Serpent Fang is the counter to heavy shielding, to Shen, to Yuumi, to all of that on that team, because you get hit with one thing, or even Renekton, because Renekton technically has that built in. Shield's gone, and Twitch, as we saw there, once the shield's gone, is popped like a balloon. And then you also just getting way too aggressive there with that chase. You gotta, like, you knew Renekton's there, your team's backing off. I know you want that fish, but you got catfish, man. You got catfished by the fish. And it's unfortunately cost him his life. Cost them quite a bit overall in the extended fight. But yeah, I think at this point, as long as T1 groups up, this should be done for them. They should win this. Renekton and a Serpent Fang fed Pantheon are an insane amount of ability to prevent Twitch from living through these fights, and he's everything now. It's 14-6. He is trying to put the team on his back, but that also just makes him a bigger target for it, while the rest of T1 is starting to come online. The Pantheon, I mean, not the Pantheon, the Renekton is starting to be with the team more, which I think helps them a lot, because he can easily get onto that Twitch, even easier than Pantheon can. But lights going out,
Gonna destroy the inhibitor, be able to get it, but now Bray being found off on the backside. Renekton gonna be able to secure it, and the sacrifice of the Nami. As Nami goes out to the Nocturne, they're gonna continue the chase, try to continue the fight. As Senna gonna be taken down, double kill going over to the Nocturne, but the Pantheon still continuing to be able to get them a lot of damage down. DXBS gonna be taken out as Vero once again securing the kills. Mandalorian gonna be able to take out the Shen, and all that is left now is Yuumi and the Nocturne versus 3 pretty beefy members on the side of T1 as they just stare into the face of the turrets. He's trying to take down the wave, he's trying to take down the minions, not gonna be able to do so. Vero being the absolute carry for the team of T1, gonna be able to once again secure the double kill, getting the ace, and this is looking like the victory for the side of T1 as long as they can end it here. Don't try to play around too much. The Twitch is there and he does do damage. You guys are gonna try to knock him down, but you're playing in the face of the Twitch, goes in, drops a lot of damage, and that's the ace. Vero gonna do absolutely insane this game as they're able to take the game from T1 and go 2-1 on the night.
I said it was done. I said it, and I was correct. You watched it in that last fight. Lights go out. They go right for Ballistic and Mr. Geeky. And Twitch going for that flank. He's like, it worked last time, but this time Renekton is there. Pantheon is ready for it. As soon as Twitch ults and it becomes visible, they are both on top of him, and he's just gone. Just immediately eliminated in the fight. Not even a factor anymore. And yeah, they've taken out Mr. Geeky. Yeah, down goes Ballistic. But the Pantheon is still there. The Renekton is still there. They are still dishing so much damage, and they just shred through the members of T4. And wow, just immaculate performance by them. Vero and Pandorum, absolutely phenomenal. I think this was a fantastic game from both of them. Again, didn't get to see the earlier ones. Was biking 10 miles and taking another 15 home on a light rail, but if their other games are anything like this, like, these are the players, everyone. These are the 2 you should be scouting right now because they look fire.
Yeah, even if you can honestly even get the 2 together, clearly there was some crazy synergy between these 2 that just happened to work out so well for this team, especially on Vero's side, who honestly in all 3 games for T1 had to be their biggest shining factor, if I'm being honest. Even in their game 1 loss, it seemed like Vero was the one that was trying to constantly facilitate the team, get them on go with him. And once they started following his lead in game 2 that they played, the Xin Zhao was definitely a big factor for them, and then that was where Ballistic was definitely a lot more of a factor. But this time around, it was like, hey, our bot lanes are just going to be our heal bots. Keep Pandorum and Vero alive long enough to be able to kill the Twitch, and at that point, they'll be able to steamroll through the rest of the team, and that's exactly what they ended up doing in this game. And this game 3 definitely showed a lot of good factors, such as Mandalorian being actually a pretty decent weak side top laner, and even in falling behind, was able to at least make something happen for themselves, either stopping this Shen from being able to come down with the Stand Uniteds, or in general being able to help siege and or take objectives with that feast stack, giving them basically another smite. So it was very hard for them to jungle contest. I really like the way that T1 was able to play this. And then again, T2 finding the avenues, utilizing this absolute insane flank with the Yuumi Twitch combination. Also allowed them to find avenues back into this game, but ultimately it was T1 with the better off macro play and being in the right place at the right time, and this absolutely insane mid jungle combination that made it so then they could win and go positive on the night.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. And I think that duo, like, I get both of them. I think they do work very well together. They seem to have some synergy together, and I think there's a strong case for that. But also, keep an eye on Bray. Bray, really solid performance on that Twitch. Really good spacing, managing to really absorb all those kills. Had some really good flank opportunities, especially that one fight in mid that they almost got that dragon off of. That was very good. That was very good flanking, very good situational awareness of where you need to be. Also knowing when and where he could take fights, but we might need a little bit of coaching, a little bit just of working on the getting too excited. I know that's an easy thing to happen. And you're an 80 carry, you see the kills stacking up, you're like, I want more, and then you walk too far forward and Renekton jumps out, and now you're stunned and you're dead. But I liked it. I still liked seeing it. I like when players are aggressive and are willing to take the risk, especially in situations like this where you're just being observed. Like, doesn't matter really if you win or lose. It's really, you know, you're just trying to show how you look for teams that want to draft. That's the kind of thing you want to see. You want to see these players that are aggressive. Show them, like, limit test, push as far as you can, see what you can do, because if you know, if it works out, it looks great. It just shows you can play it. And if not, oh well, you know, you tried. Yeah, you gave it a good shot, and people know, hey, you know, maybe he didn't get it this time, but I know he'll at least try to go for it. He'll try to get the kill. And I think that's something that is definitely worth, you know, pursuing on that.
No, you're right, because it takes a different type of confidence to play League of Legends. And honestly, as an AD carry, it's very easy to also get overconfident when you start seeing your damage ramp up. As we see how Bray did the most damage in the whole game, but that Twitch was dishing out a lot of damage, especially with the buff up with the Yuumi. I would definitely say I'm not sure how well Singular Bread does on other types of supports, but clearly the way they were playing was actually of a way of helping to bolster Bray a lot too. So you definitely want to potentially also look into Singular Bread as another player. Hopefully we'll get to see more of them as the scouting grounds go through. With that much said, I don't think there's much else to discuss on these games. Once again, T1 goes 2-1 on the night. If casters had to pick, I guess we've been saying it for this series, it's definitely Vero and Pandorum are the two people that you might want to look into. Scouts, coaches, whoever is looking into teams right now, and definitely just continue to do the scouting grounds, guys. Continue to show up, continue to really show your skill expression, because who knows, when the draft day comes, you might be getting your name called to come up for one of these teams, and I'm sure that they'll be very excited to have you. With that much said, this has been Rap Terror. I am Melko, and we were great to be able to, it was an excellent pleasure to get to cast you guys tonight for T1s through Team 4, and for the audience that is out there for Titan Esports. With that much said, guys, I hope you all have a good night, and please be on the lookout as we will be seeing more scouting ground games throughout the rest of this week. So don't go anywhere. This has been Titan Esports. Have a good night.
Later.